So welcome everyone to Wi-Fi Wednesdays. My name is Kevin Z, founder and CEO of My Wi-Fi Networks. And every week we meet on Facebook Live and Zoom to talk about our new features, sales training, and office hours where I answer your questions live. And also those who are joining us late or joys are just maybe getting started, it's also home of the 30-day Wi-Fi challenge, which essentially challenges you to get your first paid Wi-Fi clients following our very easy few steps to acquire clients using Facebook Messenger, send them a message, creating awareness about guest Wi-Fi, and then upselling them a free trial / paid deposit for a local Wi-Fi installation using the free device that we send you in the mail. So hopefully all of you on this call have already completed the 30-day Wi-Fi challenge. I know that plenty of you have. If you haven't, I encourage you to go back, rewind in the archives. One of the first, actually the first Wi-Fi Wednesday ran through that program in detail. So it's on November 1st. Just scroll back on Facebook. Let me actually show you guys. I always get this question multiple times, and until Facebook actually finds a better way for us to serve out these recordings, this is where it is. So it's inside the Facebook group and the Wi-Fi Marketing Experts Facebook group. Over here, there's a tab called Videos. Inside there, we have all of the videos. Now, problem is here, again, I cannot organize them, so it's just a whole whack load of videos. So if you go back to around here, I believe it is, the one of the longest ones. No, actually the week before this. So it's pretty awesome. I will send you guys this link. But again, if you want to access any of this stuff, it is right available inside Facebook, on mobile, on iPad, on computer, anywhere you have. You just need access to the Facebook group. So that's where we have all the archive videos listed now. We're looking at maybe taking these and moving them to YouTube sometime in the future. But for now, until Facebook has a better way, that's where you find them. That being said, those who joined us a couple weeks ago or now, we launched Square as an integration. So Square is a mobile POS system, point of sale system, essentially allows any merchants to accept credit cards. A lot of you, almost every one of you, have used a Square POS device that used to be the MagStripe reader, where you plug into the headphone jack and do that swipe with a MagStripe. Now they actually have Bluetooth powered tap devices that are more NFC based, more up to date with the times. Apple Pay and stuff like that accepted. So it's a very cool way to link the two worlds together. Square also collects email addresses. So what we do is we take every time a user connects to the Wi-Fi hotspot, we will send all their data that includes name, email, etc., over to Square, add that to the Square CRM so that as a business owner, you can see who has spent money at my business after connecting to free Wi-Fi. So that is a cool, awesome integration. In addition, we recently launched our TripAdvisor integration. Those who joined the Wi-Fi Wednesday last week, I was in beautiful Costa Rica. It was hot as hell there. It was awesome. I'm back in Canada in the freezing cold, but that's all good. Obviously, I hope each and every one of you work hard to take some breaks because it's always required in any business. But something that I thought was really timely is at the same time that we launched TripAdvisor was the same place that I saw the TripAdvisor logo literally everywhere. I mean, I'm just going to jump to the group because I shared a couple pictures with you guys here. Let me just hop over to photos. And everywhere in Costa Rica, there were signs. And this was at some bar. We went to a rooftop bar to watch the sunset. And over here, big ad, TripAdvisor, free Wi-Fi, join now. And this actually happened to be in French, I think, for some reason, even though Spanish was the main language there. This was also, saw a lot of these signs where it was free Wi-Fi and TripAdvisor together, hand in hand, because they know that's the combination. It's a lethal combination for any tourist-oriented business. And I mean lethal in two ways. If you do it wrong, you're screwed. If you do it right, you're going to just kill the competition. Because I mean, when I went there, I went on an ATV tour, and the tour company I picked was the one that had the most positive TripAdvisor reviews. I mean, it's logical. I don't want to risk my life on some all-terrain vehicle riding through some random town. And the roads there aren't great either. So we wanted somewhere that had a good track record. How do you do that? Through TripAdvisor. I actually spoke to the owner of that ATV business, and I told him that we'll be sending him a hotspot to set up at his location to tell people after they go in the ride to log on to Facebook to connect in order to get the photos that they were taking of them during their ATV tour. So that's a great way for him to also generate likes, generate TripAdvisor reviews with our new integration. And that's just one example of that being used. Obviously, this is everywhere. Let me just show you another photo that I took. This was at a little shrimp outdoor seafood, kind of as a shrimp seafood place. So over here, you see, we're only small. Please review us on TripAdvisor and help us grow. And a sign right next to that saying, be our guest with the Wi-Fi password. I mean, why not integrate those over here. And that's obviously one of the big things why TripAdvisor is so big and Wi-Fi is so big to work together. So what happens with the integration, essentially, to simplify it, is you go into TripAdvisor, and actually can show you over here. Let me just run through that. For those who are not familiar with TripAdvisor Review Express, what you need is, it's free to use, so you don't have to pay TripAdvisor anything additional for that. You essentially, let me just pull it up here. You need to enable TripAdvisor Review Express at your TripAdvisor location. Those who want more information on this, I will share this link. I won't share it here, but it actually is all found inside our support article. So it's right over here as well. But let me just run through that in the meantime to show you what it's all about. So what happens here is that anytime somebody connects to Wi-Fi, TripAdvisor will send that user a specific email address where you can choose on TripAdvisor the from address, subject, photo, and message to be sent to that client. It sends them an email. So instead of like uploading over here, if I just scroll down and zoom in, you can see over here that the way TripAdvisor really works is that, sorry, I can't somehow zoom in on this page. But anyways, those who can see it, I'll just highlight it. So it tells you to normally upload a CSV file. So what you need to do is, traditionally in TripAdvisor Express, is you sign up with them, you get everything going, then you manually upload a CSV or an Excel file, and then say, don't worry, it's going to take some time, and et cetera, et cetera. What happens here is that it's a manual thing. So we automated this process directly with TripAdvisor, which now allows you to do this. So I'm just going to hop over to our support guide. This is available in our support section. Just do a search for TripAdvisor under integrations. You'll find the article here. And what this does is it teaches you exactly how to set it up. Now, don't be turned off by the actual process here. It is, an article that is a few page scrolls long, but you'll notice that once you set it up, it really is a super simple setup. It's a lengthy article because we really wanted to explain how it works, give you good examples and show you. But basically, I'll break it down to this. You need to go into TripAdvisor, enable Review Express on your property. You can learn how to do that on this link. It walks through that entire process. Okay, once that's done, you need to locate your TripAdvisor property ID. It's found in every TripAdvisor URL. So for example, here, you're going to notice it's hotel review dash, all these numbers. Look after the D. So it's dash G's, so forth. Then it's dash D like David. Over there, you'll notice this 6-digit number. That is the property ID. Okay, so you can find your property ID inside every TripAdvisor URL. You just grab that. You go over to the My Wi-Fi dashboard. You hopefully already have that location set up. You go add new integration. Then right over here, you fill out the fields. So you choose TripAdvisor. You choose the location that you've set up that corresponds to the TripAdvisor location that you're setting up there. You get the property ID that we just grabbed. You choose your language and you choose your country. That's it. Once you click on save, you hop on over to the automation tab inside the My Wi-Fi dashboard. You set up a new automation pointing, basically running, that anyone that connects to this location, you can choose to have a delay there if you'd like. We recommend not having a delay because TripAdvisor uses best practices in order to send the right message at the right time to that user. So we let them handle that logic, and we just trigger it to happen on connection in real time via TripAdvisor here always as well, so that we're sending them the data every time that user connects. They're also able to see if they're repeat users. And what happens here is that once that's done, it's all set up. Now, one thing to note, that once you add this, it takes about 48 hours to authenticate. TripAdvisor does this because it's a manual process. They actually have a human go in and to check to see, hey, is your location set up? Is it valid? And in almost all cases, if you enable it for your location, it's all good. So after 48 hours, after TripAdvisor says, yep, this location's good to go, you can set up this automation and have it run. So what makes that really cool is that you can, in one little setup, automatically send users that connect to Wi-Fi at any given location. For example, the ATV tour that I took over here, the example is island tours and activities. Anyone, and I'm going to repeat this, anyone who is, you don't even have to live in a tourist area. I was just in Costa Rica. Okay, you can go search for Tamarindo, Costa Rica, and you can go look at the tour companies or go look at the hotels or the restaurants. You can pick up the phone and call them and ship them a device pre-scheduled, that just or pre-set up. That's just one example of the many ways to sell it. You don't have to be in a location, but specifically, if you are in a tourist location, you better get a whole bunch of sales reps out there on the ground immediately and find locations that have a TripAdvisor sticker in the window. Okay, or you can even just search TripAdvisor. Like, look over here. I'm going to use an example over here. I'm just going to open up TripAdvisor, and almost everybody, I hope, has been to TripAdvisor.com. If you've ever gone on vacation, chances are you have, even for business trips. Items I viewed, you can see right over here some of the Costa Rica adventures I was looking at, and some surfing and some scuba diving. So every single location, it's nuts, is on TripAdvisor. And how are you going to choose? And basically, if I go surfing and windsurfing in Tamarindo, for example, I pull this up, Iguana Surf, I bet you gets 10 times the traffic than somebody listed down the page at minimum, right? How do they get to the top of the list? They have 917 reviews versus this guy that has 134 versus this company that has 126. And, potentially this company is way better than this one, but these guys are smarter because they realize the importance of TripAdvisor. Every time you go on a tour, I'm sure each one of you have done this as well. Type in yes or type in your experience, and I actually would love a little paragraph of your experience, personal experience of being asked to leave a TripAdvisor review. If it's been local, and I'm not just saying this is not just for a vacation. I want to just really clarify. Every major city, I guarantee you, most of the restaurants in your hometown care about their reputation and the number of reviews on TripAdvisor. They're a force, just like Google Places is, just like Facebook. They launched their own Places program. So all of these tools are hyper important when it comes to getting more traffic. This is, borderline reputation management, but you don't have to worry about all the headaches of rep management. You just integrate this and you're going to drive more positive reviews, all managed by TripAdvisor. And again, you're going to be able to sell the client on this because they really care about that. All right. They really do. And if you're trying to sell them on just social Wi-Fi, or you're trying to get them to lead gen emails, and that's not resonating, that's not hitting home, this definitely will. Okay, so I was at this place and it was great, and 172 reviews. I mean, I wasn't asked to leave a review there, but as I had my sandwich, smoothie, I had a smoothie there, and we had a little breakfast burrito. And at the same time, if I was sitting there and using Wi-Fi, I would automatically be asked to leave a review, and everyone as well. They are all touting their certificate of excellence. I don't know what the criteria is exactly of them receiving that, but I guarantee you it has something to do with the number of positive reviews. I mean, how else is TripAdvisor going to determine how excellent they are, right? So think about that. All this is done by TripAdvisor. It is super important. It even tells you what other travelers are talking about. So this is a major, major thing that you need to start implementing today on your hotspots. So again, all this is now integrated directly with TripAdvisor. You set up the automation. You also set up the integration. Everything is found directly in our support guide. Again, under the TripAdvisor integration section here. Read through that. If you have any questions, you can always click over here and chat with our support team. We'll be happy to clarify anything you need for that stuff. Also, to plug these in and to have TripAdvisor work at a location, in Costa Rica, they had same North American plugs. So, the same multi-prong flathead prongs. I don't know exactly what the actual term is. I'll get that term, but there's the EU in North America, and that's the way kind of we call it around here. But it's the same thing. So I could drop ship one to them, have them plug it in, set it all up remotely, and charge that ATV. I mean, to be honest, we paid $150 for 2 people to go on a tour. Okay, that was a great deal, we thought. But think about that. These tours go out 3-4 times a day. They're getting $75 US per person. I mean, it's not unreasonable to charge that location $400 US a month to manage their automated TripAdvisor reviews with Wi-Fi. All you need is this device you buy for $49. You need to set up the TripAdvisor integration one time in our system, following these instructions, and charge that client $400 a month. You don't even have to be there. Again, I don't have to be at that ATV location to sell him this. He has my email. I sent him the quote. He's organizing, talking with his partner. Actually, he's like, I'm good to go. Before I pull the trigger, I got to talk with my partner. But he told me basically guaranteed, and we're going to plug one of these in and collect extra money. It's not our core business. Our business is helping guys like you or girls like you on the call who are agencies, who are resellers, who are looking to really grow their business. And this is all you have to do to get that running at that location. Another new announcement that we made is our Facebook campaign generator. So this was always, this functionality was always available inside of our sales CRM. You would create a new preview. Now we've integrated that, directly into the campaign generator. So let me just hop on over to our platform. I'll just log in as a demo user here. So you go into campaigns. You can do this for new and existing campaigns, but I recommend setting up a new campaign for this. So you go to new campaign, you're going to notice on the right over here, we have a new button called Create From. So we have our blank layout. It asks you to choose a layout option. You can actually just go right here and click on Create From, choose Facebook page. And I'm just zooming in. That's why you're getting all the scrolling here. So I'm told to fetch from Facebook. Again, what you're finding here, what you're getting is the actual Facebook page ID. So to find that, hop on over to Facebook. I mean, hopefully at this point, I don't have to show you where to find that, but I will anyways. And let me look up randomly, Air Canada. And I will pull up a page. Right here, you'll notice it's facebook.com/page name. I will simply copy that, go over here, paste that, click on refresh, and it's going to load the relevant campaign. Now, what makes this awesome is a lot of people have requested this. Say, sometimes you can see Fly the Flag was a hashtag geared around the Olympics. Okay, the Olympics is over. So if this was running in a month from now, it might not make sense. Now I think it's even a little too late. But hopefully, they'll change this soon. When they do change it, if I wanted to change this, I don't actually have to go, recreate a new campaign. I can simply, if I'm managing my Facebook brand for my client, and hopefully a lot of you guys are as an upsell, so you're managing your client's Facebook page, their ads, and their Wi-Fi. And what you're doing here is every time you change their Facebook page, if they want or if it's relevant, you can go here, create from. You simply click that again. As you click on refresh, it's going to refetch and re-get the information here. For example, if I wanted to change that and just make it American Airlines, just to show you how that refreshes, it will pull back the latest data. Everything else will stay the same. It's just going to pull back the actual data that you're pulling from the Facebook profile or the actual page that you're fetching. So what makes this awesome is that, the sales CRM is great for sales prospecting. If you want to create trackable preview links, if you want to track the number of clicks on those links, if you want to capture information in your lead list of people who have actually completed that preview, that's what you use the sales CRM for. Okay, if you're managing a client and they're already sold, let's say you talk to them and yeah, great, make me a campaign, let's set it up. You don't have to go here. You actually just go to create a new campaign, click on create from, click Facebook page, paste that Facebook page ID in there, and it's going to load everything up. And then you can actually go ahead and edit anything you want. Thank you, the redirect, the ads, the advanced fields, all that cool stuff over here. Cool, so that is the campaign generator. And we also launched the weather widget, which is my personal favorite, because I know that along with TripAdvisor and along with tourism and along with Wi-Fi comes weather. Every time anyone goes on vacation, I'm sure you guys can attest to this, or if you're in a new place that you're not familiar, or even if you are familiar, you always want to know the weather. It must be a Canadian, obsession. I think it actually is, because it's always so friggin' cold here. And when it's warm, people get excited. But anytime that you are at a ski resort, at a beach resort, if you're visiting, if you're traveling, or you just want to know kind of what's going on outside, this weather widget is where you're going to find that. So let me just zoom in and show you how this works. So you can toggle between Fahrenheit and Celsius. This is a demo location, just used for preview purposes only on Demo City. But what this will do is it'll take the location that you have it set up at. So if you create a location on the platform, it'll be whatever the nearest city of the actual location is of the weather in your hood, in your area there. So what you'll do is you click on this. So just for preview, you'll tap on this on your phone. It'll pull up a nice animated weather widget. Awesome design here. Looks really nice. If you click on the day, it'll show you what the forecast is throughout the day here. Not here. I wish this was the weather here. But if I click over here, I can see the wind, I can see precipitation, I can click on different days, and I can see what the forecast is. So this is huge. We have a few ski resort clients that are using this. That's the reason why we built it, to be honest. But there's a whole other, angle on this. Hotels, huge for weather. They post it in the lobby every day. They actually print it out. You'll notice it. I'm sure if you haven't, you will now. But weather's huge. So we have this now available on the login. It acts as almost a service to the clients to be able to see that. And how to enable it is you go into the advanced tab. You have a weather widget over here. You can choose Fahrenheit or Celsius to enable that. And we also have a article that talks exactly about how it's laid out in the different options that you have. So that is that. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them right now. I know that we did have something come up in the Facebook group that I'll just talk about now. Because I had it up. So there was a question about the accept terms. So I agree to the terms and conditions on the accept button. If there's any clients that are kind of wondering how this goes, I would just add a message either on the bottom here on the fine print or actually as part of the headline. If it's like connect to win, this becomes very obvious. If you tap that, you can change these terms of service to make it very relevant. But I think this is probably the most elegant way that it's done. In a lot of places, they actually hide the checkbox. And in many cases, it's illegal to have the checkbox pre-selected. Like you actually have to have the user prove that they are aware that there are terms and conditions associated with connecting to Wi-Fi. And the terms and conditions, by saying I agree, I think it's just very obvious that you're connecting to Wi-Fi. I mean, this is a pop-up. So if anybody has a question or wants clarification, you can always add that. Like, for example, you can go to branding, you can go modify footer and say, like this only happens on the landing page anyways. So, if you want to add that, you can totally add that if you like. So any questions I can get to, please type them in the chat box. I'm going to check Facebook quickly here as well. If you guys have anything to add on there. So Craig actually made a comment on Facebook. I'm going to just take a snapshot of this, Craig. Shout out to Craig, and just share this with you on screen. So here it is. So he pitched the TripAdvisor integration today. The guy loves it. Craig barely even knows what he was talking about. But imagine that, just going to a client and using the same 30-day Wi-Fi challenge mentality, be like, hey, do you offer free Wi-Fi? Or just sending them a Facebook message or calling the business and saying, hey, I noticed that you're on TripAdvisor. How would you like to get more TripAdvisor reviews sent from TripAdvisor through a direct partnership that you have with TripAdvisor to be able to automate reviews for your business? And this is TripAdvisor approved. This is coming from them. So you can do all of that automated via Wi-Fi. And I'd love to get your feedback of those who try this and pitch it in the group. I pitch it to your clients, post your feedback. We'll create a post about that, or just feel free to post your story, because I think that this is probably one of the biggest door openers, other than being able to drive emails and get engagement and track users and build lists and all that stuff is great. But people really care about TripAdvisor. I'll tell you now. And if you're not familiar with it, go do your own research. They're big and they're getting bigger. They actually launched a whole bunch of hotel recommendation sites. They're selling travel, all kinds of great stuff. So that's definitely something that you want to get familiar with ASAP. About the EU regulations, the GDPR stuff, we are working on it. There is still quite a bit of time. And language support for the weather widget. I think it should take local languages. I will double check that. But what kind of, like, I mean, what do you, just to clarify that question, Gabrielle, what are you looking for he's in Brazil? I think it should be in Portuguese. It should be taking your local language. If not, we can look to see if the API that we're working with, we use AccuWeather Forecast through that. So it should go with the language. If not, I think just having your city name and Celsius probably just says, pretty cross language there. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. Cool. Great. Any other questions I can get to? Question about integrating with Cisco AeroNet APs. Yeah, if they have AAA radius authentication, we can integrate with them. So yeah, Brian, actually, we should chat as well after this call. I was away for a little bit, but yeah, let's connect. I can help you with all that. Yeah, you can work with any hotel that's on TripAdvisor. We have requests about looking for hotels in Sierra Leone that are on TripAdvisor. Yeah, if there are hotels there, you can definitely, sorry, our hotels on TripAdvisor that deem TripAdvisor to be important there. Definitely, and I would literally say I would not be surprised. I'll just actually search right now. I think everywhere in the world, TripAdvisor is hugely important to hotels, very important to restaurants. I'm sorry, I'm searching the wrong section here. Let me just hop over here. So I go to TripAdvisor and I just go to the search bar. So things to do in Sierra Leone. Like, so check this out. I would actually love to go there. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Like, this is awesome. And you can see the reviews that are near the top, 109 reviews, 106, 118. These are all clients you can target. And again, there's no fee to add TripAdvisor. All you need is a Wi-Fi legacy plan or network plan or agency plan, one that is relevant to your business. And then you need a TripAdvisor account. You basically would just contact any of these businesses and say, hey, how would you like to generate more TripAdvisor reviews just by people connecting via Wi-Fi? And you can do that very easily by grabbing their location ID. Let me just show you again where to find that on just any TripAdvisor post. You're going to notice on the top there's review, attraction review -D. So right over here, it actually is a 7-digit ID here. Whatever that ID is after the D. So this is 7070395. And if I paste that into my integration, I set that up via TripAdvisor. Once that's approved via TripAdvisor, typically within 48 hours, then you can drive reviews directly to this business. And this actually makes a huge deal when you guys just think about this for a sec. So this location has 109 reviews. Let's just do some simple math. Let's assume that there are, on the low end, 20 people every day that connect to their Wi-Fi hotspot. So 20 tourists a day, let's say, that connect. So you get 20 times an average of 30 days per month, which is 600 people every single month. So of those 600 people, if they can successfully incentivize, legally incentivize by saying, hey, if you leave, we'd love to know your thoughts. Keep an eye out for the email. And then, when you leave, here's like a thank you drink, a little shot of whatever. They're like, yeah, these guys are awesome. Then they make a note to keep out for that email. When that email is received, they're like, yeah, hell yeah, I'll give them a 10 out of 10 stars because they gave me a free shot when I left. That's great. Shot of rum, whatever it is, like something like really like cost effective to do for any kind of tourist area. And what you're doing there is, let's say you get on a low end, 15% of those people every single month leaving reviews. That's 90 reviews a month. Okay, that is almost as many as the total number of reviews that they have. And 90 times 12 is over 1,000 reviews. So imagine in a year being able to, on the low end, on just those numbers, being able to drive more reviews via TripAdvisor, all via Wi-Fi. That's why when you pitch that and take that angle, it is like hyper huge for your business. Thank you, Ibrahim. I would love to accept your invitation to Sierra Leone. I will check with my wife. I have 2 young kids. Once they get a little bit older, I'd love to take them on a tour all over Africa. I think it would be awesome. All right. Anybody else have any questions that I can get to right now? Yeah, we have looked at other, just to mention in Brazil specifically, we use Amazon's CDN. So any static assets are all loaded up super close, or even in Brazil, I believe they have a data center, or if not, launching very soon. And let me just double check that, because I know that AWS is in Brazil and we do use the cloud controller there. So yeah, I think anything else, they do have one. Yeah, correct. I just checked. And thank you, Gabrielle, as well. Yeah, that's what we use. So we're pretty much as fast as it gets. If there's any delays, I would look at just how your network propagates and double check that you're using the fastest internet speed available. Sometimes even chatting with your ISP about that can help with performance. Yeah, you can integrate TripAdvisor if you're currently on a trial, on a trial with us. You can definitely use TripAdvisor and add that in. The host names are all propagated as well via Amazon. We can look at something specific if you'd like, if you just submit a ticket with support, but I can assure you that we have